Problems.
Hello, we be live. If you hear noise in the background on my end, it is not my fault. I have neighbors.
And
And
apparently they like to groove.
listen, this particular neighbor, I do love. He's such a sweet little guy. But when he gets in his little moods where he is listening to music and stimming for like an hour and a half straight, I'd be ready to move. But
Mm. Yeah.
but
Welcome to my life sometimes.
right. At least it's not in my home. Because he
No.
listens to music like all fucking day long. And sometimes one of his favorite songs that he'll listen to on repeat for hours is not Billie Jean, Michael Jackson's Bad. And
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, it is 8 o'clock in the morning and it is loud as hell. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so I've been up for a while, if you can't tell. normally, normally I roll into the lives like half awake, struggling. Nope, I've had half a pot of coffee, and me and the neighbor have been awake for a while now.
Just jamming out.
Right, we'll call it that. Um, I'm over here angry because I prefer to wake up right before we do this. I've been up since like 7.
Oh, dude. That's funny. That is so funny.
Anyways,
Let me
hi
see.
y'all.
What's new?
If you are not in our barely functioning book club, I feel like I'm the only one talking about anything right now.
Oh,
Um, if you're not in there though, I highly suggest the book we're reading. It's great. It's a little
yes.
triggering, so if you're sensitive, maybe don't.
It,
And when I say triggering, I don't even mean about one thing. Off the top of my head, I can think about maybe like two or three things that are for sure a little problematic.
we'll just
It's
say
set,
it's set in a perfect, it sets the tone for the decade it's in.
well, it's set in the 70s in the South. And so, there's going to be some stuff in there. Um,
Yeah.
but overall, the book is really good. I like it. Plus,
It's
I
a,
like reading things that are just kind of like hard hitting. I
yes.
guess I don't know what word to use, but I like books that just I don't like sugar coated books. Like tell me the
No.
truth of, I mean, even in fiction, I still don't want it like sugar coated. Um, we all know that the South in the 70s, well, literally in 1970, because
70.
the book started in 1969. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm
It's
I'm
great though.
it's good writing though. So the book is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. And yeah, if you would like to read it with us, join us on our Patreon and join the Discord and we can talk about it.
Yay. Just
This book is crazy though. So be
it's
careful.
super crazy. And like she
Read the
said,
description and understand that none of that will be watered down or sugar coated.
nope, not at all.
Parts of this book made me cringe, and I've been reading Stephen King since I could read.
Yeah. So if it can make us cringe, we've been like subjected to Stephen King and like R.L. Stein and all that since we were like 6.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Anyways, what were we going to talk about today?
I have no
Guys,
idea.
I promise we're gonna get it together. It's just we're just coming out of the holidays still. My holidays don't end until February.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot going on. So with that, later actually I guess next week, because I think next week is only YouTube live. So I'll be doing some stuff about like witchcraft traditions as it pertains to birthdays because my birthday is next week.
Yay.
I'm getting old.
Still younger than me.
So yeah.
Oh,
Also, we said February for getting back to
the
community service, right?
yes.
Yeah. So what happened with that? Some crazy stuff. Basically, we were going to start it in November. Nothing worked out. So we're going to kick that back off in November, in geez, February,
Yeah.
because I, it's a little bit my fault. It's a lot my fault because when I do when I do workings, if I know, I go by feeling, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we planned the workings to be what they were, but when I went to go put these things together, I was like, something's missing, and I cannot do it this way. Um, I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but it's for me, it's very strong. If it doesn't feel right, I cannot do it. I cannot force it. The energy will not be there. It will not. It just, I don't know. Like I cannot force it no matter how hard I try. So yeah, it was put on hold, but I think I solved that problem this morning, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. It's been crazy. There's also been some changes, but we'll discuss that one later because I think it only pertains to the people over yonder.
Over yonder on the Patreon.
Yes.
Oh,
Also, our
I
Discord is finally getting a little more active. It's fun over there.
love our Discord. It's so fun.
That's kind of where we do most of our chit-chatting, hanging out. We do have a Discord chat, or not Discord, we do have a Patreon chat, but meh,
Yeah, it's fun on
not much
Discord.
happens there. Also, you guys, somebody leave us a comment after the live, not in the live chat, but like a comment on the video. I just want to see if we can do something. I noticed I noticed something that people are doing on YouTube now is you can reply to comments like with a voice note, and I just want to try it. I just want to,
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know
I think
that.
that's interesting. I only noticed it like last week.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow, I'm so behind. Like so behind on everything that's updated these days.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, we're gonna get back onto all that on the Patreon. But no, we had to wait for the community stuff because we needed perfect things. Oh.
It was bottles, y'all. That's what I'm tripping on. Bottles. It sounds it sounds petty, but I promise you.
No, I mean, I get it because there's like some things when I'm doing something, it has to be very specific or, like it sounds very aesthetic, witchy like to me, but like there's just some things that have to be like a certain way or a certain color or a certain texture or material. And anything, nothing else is going to do unless it's that specific. I'm kind of a
Well,
stickler too in that way.
yeah. I my setup is very similar to both of my grandmas who had like the old school perfume bottles because they blend in with perfume and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
things that weren't obvious, but were there. So, of course, I have my a lot of Latin based witchcraft practices use tons of perfumes,
yeah,
whether it and not just like waters, but like actual perfumes too. So everything from like perfume down to like the perfumed waters, like agua florida.
yeah,
Um, I'm trying to think. There's also like lavender water and rose water. A lot of those are used. But we prefer to use them in specific bottles. And I always liked my grandma on my dad's side setup. So I'm kind of emulating hers. And her family is the one that I have the strongest ties to when it comes to my practice. So basically, I can tell if it's right or not because it's just like this gut feeling. And that comes from strengthening that that bond that I have with my ancestors because I listen to them and I don't listen to like podcasters who say like, oh, you should follow this or you should follow
No.
that, or you should not follow anything, because I don't know if I would call it a path or not, but I do what my lineage tells me is right,
Yeah. And what feels right.
regardless of what that is. And I have lineage from different cultures. So sometimes it'll look one way, sometimes it looks completely different, but it's almost like a tugging feeling behind your navel where you'll know if it feels right.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like you talking about the perfume thing, like, it reminds me of my great grandma. Like, my grandma, oh, she wore specific perfumes on specific days or however she was feeling
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So, like, she had her whole dresser was organized to different moods, different needs. And, like, I never understood
Mm-hmm.
that until I got older. And,
And it's
like,
how you put it on too.
yes. And,
It's
like,
very over your head, over your shoulders.
it was funny because, like, I remember, like, she would get up in the morning because I spent the night over there a lot as a kid. And, like, she'd be all, how do I feel today? And, like, she'd just go through her perfumes and be out, I feel like this today. And, like, put on a perfume to keep that mood. And it was really cool, because, like, she was Scottish and from here, like, her family's from Appalachia. So, like, it
Mm-hmm.
was just really fun to see, like, she always made it fun, but I never realized what she was doing until, like, I got older thinking about it. Like, when she would get up and be all, this morning I feel this way. What perfume is going to make me stay that way? And I loved it. She was my eccentric great grandmother, and she was just so fun.
That's actually the next thing I want to do is I want to get a nice collection of waters.
Yes. I
You guys,
gotta.
I love waters. And that is another way to implement that element without having too much access to it. Because this is going to sound crazy. Anybody who knows what state I live in is probably like, bitch, you live 2 seconds away from mass amounts of water. And I
Literally.
do, but I'm an inside cat and I
Yep.
don't go outside and I'm not going to this frigid ass water. So that's how I do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, girl, you live down the street from a freaking big body of water.
Yeah. But right now, the only one I have is Florida water, and I would love to have like orange blossom and some other ones. I hate lavender, but I need lavender water. Y'all, I really hate the smell of lavender. I think it's horrible.
Like, I keep Florida water on hand. I keep rose water, lavender water.
I feel
Um,
like Florida water is like, I hate to cast broad nets, but ain't it just like witchy 101? It's right
yeah,
up, it's right up there with sage and like,
yeah, like that. And then, like, what do you call
and
it?
black obsidian,
Yeah, that's like, as much as I love that,
the starter kit.
as much as I love that stone, it's overused to me. And that's coming from a crystal girly. Like, what do you call it? But, like, I keep all those waters, and, like, I have the High John the Conqueror water, the one that's blue. I use that to clean my house, though. I always use that in the mop water. Keep all them evil peoples out of my casa. But yeah, I keep a water collection too. I don't have orange blossom. I really want orange blossom water too. I love that one, especially in the springtime.
Yeah. And those, I don't know, I'm starting to now, shit, I've been practicing going on 8 years.
Yeah.
And as far as like formally, instead of just like sitting back and like wondering why my family has weird things they do, um, now that I'm actually the one actively doing things, over the years, I've accumulated stuff finally, and it feels good to like have that. But now I'm at the point where the books have done their job. And of course, there's still going to be more books that I want and get and read and learn from. But I feel like I'm super comfortable in my practice now. I don't really have to think about things when I do them, other than maybe checking some timing if that's what I'm going for. But for the most part, I feel like is almost on autopilot now and it feels nice. So now
Yeah.
the only thing I really have to like spend my time on is finding sources for certain things that I want in my what's the word? Not apothecary, but just like my supply closet, I guess, my little witchy
Yeah.
supply closet.
And your repertoire.
Because I have almost every carrier oil that's like known to have correspondences. Like I
Yeah.
literally, I think you remember when I went on like a shopping spree looking for oils. I'm pretty sure my husband was like, I don't know what is happening right now. There's so many bottles of oil.
Okay, because like I know we had held this whole conversation. Do I need this oil? Do I need that oil? What about this one? What is this one for? I was like, okay. And then your shopping list just became bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
It was so
everything.
great.
Sweet almond, sunflower, hemp seed,
All that.
everything. Yep.
We kind of,
Castor,
yeah.
olive, all of it. I got all of it. Um,
I actually need more avocado oil. I'm almost
there's
out.
actually some on there too that like the source material for the oil has correspondences that I like, and I actually use an oil that I have never heard of anybody else using.
Which one?
I'll tell you guys on the other podcast later today.
Ooh.
I don't like sharing super personal things that I don't see other people doing
On here.
um too much openly because that comes with criticism and I don't care what you have to say about it, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like instead of putting myself in the position to deal with people's unsolicited criticisms, I just don't because I have a little bit of an attitude problem, just a little bit.
Right?
And I try to be a decent person, but sometimes people think that their input is needed and it's really not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like
And then that's why on Patreon I like our like discussing it on Patreon because it's constructive criticism or actual like conversation without criticism.
yeah, like I shared something on there recently. I haven't checked the the response on that.
Oh,
Um because it's something that I've talked about wanting to share before, but I've always been very self-conscious about it because it comes with a ton of judgment nowadays in this community and always from the outside community.
no.
But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna see what they say. And then I was like, I don't want to see what they say, even though like everybody over there is part of our little community and we all feel safe just speaking our mind. We don't always
Yeah.
agree, but we're all respectful. Um,
It's fine.
yeah, I haven't checked. I don't even know if anybody said anything about it. They're probably like, girl, no, too far.
Oh,
So we'll see if you guys are here. Hi. Have you
our
seen it?
fearless is
Did
on
you
here.
like it? Fearless, did you see it? Did you feel some kind of way? Am I evil? I'm sorry. I feel that's the thing is I that's why I don't share it is because I'm like I feel like I'm going to be judged for being like a monster. Monster.
Such a monster. Such a monster.
But
Oh,
anyway, on to something less secretive. So, but yeah, no. So that's kind of what was holding up some stuff we wanted to do for the community. If I'm going to do something, and for some reason, it's especially when I'm doing workings for other people. Um, I don't know why, but those ones are even more like, nah, no cutting corners, no.
mm-mm.
If it doesn't feel right, it's just not going to happen. So yeah. But like I said, I think I figured it out today and I'm just going to handle that later today and we'll be
But I
good to
think
go
a
for
lot of
February.
people like who are very meticulous have that problem of wanting to make sure they have exactly what's perfectly needed. Like
Yeah, I can honestly say the only time I just wing it is like if it's an emergency, like we have to do this working right
like
now.
right now, like
Fuck.
in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And honestly, that makes me upset. Like I don't like
Yeah,
it very much. I'll always make it work if I have to,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, we both know that we don't really need any of it. I'm good with a candle and just me. I don't need oil. I don't need rocks. I don't need powders. I don't need any of that. the reason I use those things is because they're old. And I hold high regard for things that are old because if it's been working for millennia, it's going to continue to work for millennia.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to experiment with new things that have no history, no lineage. I want to do things that my family members did because the connection to my family members is already there. The connection to the craft is already there. Is if you the deeper you can dig your roots, the more solid your practice is going to be. And so that's what I recommend doing. And that's what I did. And yeah, my practice doesn't expand too much throughout time because of it, because I like to stay close to home.
Yep.
But the things that I do on a regular basis become second nature and it makes them stronger. It makes them easier to land. Um, it makes my divination stronger because I'm not just getting messages from wherever. I know
And
who they're coming
whomever.
from. Exactly. Um,
I do. Like, I guess the phrase "what was good for the goose is good for the gander" comes to mind because if it worked
right.
for everybody else then, it's perfectly fine to work for us now. You know, like I've been working on my little shrine over there, altar, and like it looks just like one of my great grandmother's like religious altars that she would use every day. Hidden in plain sight, but I do use it for what I need to use it for. And it's exactly like my great grandma had, you know, old Irish Catholic lady who used her little at-home altar. It's fun. And I like it. Because if it worked for her and if it worked for my other great grandma, it's gonna work for me.
And see, altars are another one that are really personal to me and they have to be right. But my family's, the way my family's, I guess we can call them superstitions, worked were way less, there was less rules to them than a lot of people have now. It's a
Yeah.
whole lot of like, oh, you can't have mirrors here, you can't have TVs there, you can't have this facing that. My family, they didn't give a shit about none of that because everybody who did any kind of divination or witchcraft, it was their family members that they would be dealing with,
Yeah.
people they knew, familiar faces. Um, I never once have seen a face that's new to me.
No.
And my grandmother, it would always be her mother. So my mother's still alive. So the only person that I see on a regular is my grandma.
Yeah, dude. So like it's just one of those things. Like I've been seeing a lot of that. Oh, you can't have your altar here. You can't do it this way. You can't do it. It's like, how many times do we have to say it's whatever is suitable and comfortable for you? And
Also,
maybe
well,
that's the only spot you have in the house.
I mean that too, because when I there was like 2 years um, at the beginning of my practice where I didn't have my own place. We were staying with my mother-in-law. I only had a bedroom. So yeah, my altar was in my bedroom right next to my bed. Like when I would sleep at night, my head would be inches away from my altar.
Yeah.
So
I
it is
mean,
what it is.
when the when my kids were little and we lived at the other house before we bought this house, my altar was literally a giant shelf way up high on the wall because I had children that would climb and get to things. So my poor husband had to put my altar shelf way the hell up on the wall where I had to actually stand on like the couch or the recliner to get to my thing because I don't want the kids to get to it. And that was the only spot I had that was safe away from my kids for it. So it's like, do what you got to do and make it the way you want to make it. Like
Yeah.
all these new like people with these rules of, oh wait, can't do this, or and like you said, you can't. We were discussing mirrors before we got on, like the whole mirror thing too. Like, I mean, I have a mirror on my altar, but that's for a specific purpose.
Yeah. I have with mirrors, it's kind of weird and it's so hilarious that I actually unplanned ended up with the same exact setup as my grandma, which is the armoire is kind of like off to the side of our bed, and that we have a big armoire mirror. And of course, that's the mirror that the ancestors are like, hi.
Knock knock.
So, what my grandma would do is she had a curtain on her mirror to her armoire, and that's essentially what I'm going to end up doing. But basically, she had some things that would be in the bathroom. There was like jade canisters in the bathroom that she would have powders and creams and stuff in, and I'm just like, okay. And she would just be like, don't touch those. um
How funny you said
but
that. My grandma Patty had jade and amethyst canisters in her bathroom.
yeah, and y'all got to remember, this is back when people like these people had families and stuff. They didn't have a place where they could just put an altar. They didn't have extra rooms and
Mm.
shit. This was a house with like 10 people in it. There's no privacy anywhere. So
No.
it would be all throughout the house. Like I said, there would be the jade canisters in the bathroom. There would be on her armoires where she would keep her perfumes and her waters, and the curtained mirror.
In the
And
kitchen, my grandma Patty's like flour canisters and stuff, they
mhm,
had to be bone china.
mhm.
I had never like even when she replaced them, they were always bone china.
I want bone china so bad. Don't get me started, because my grandparents were basically the same. So
Yeah.
she had cast irons of like every size,
Mm.
everything. So there was those, but I'm trying to think what else. She also had a ton of like actual silver spoons, like a gross amount of spoons, which now I've also started to do that, because one thing I do religiously, and this is, I guess I can, fuck it, I'll share it here. So basically, one of the things that I do every day, it's almost more of a ritual than a working at this point. It started as a working, and now it's just kind of like I feed it every single day. One of the things I do, why I don't know why almost every working I do has to do with prosperity and finances. It's probably because I come from instability and it's
See,
very important to me.
that's
So,
I think that's where both of us have that rooting
yeah.
from.
I need the security, so I'm gonna do it all the time. So, what I do is when I have my morning coffee, I'll add the coffee to the cup, add the sugar, stir it counterclockwise to take away the bitterness, then add the milk or cream or whatever dairy, and then do it clockwise to bring richness
Yeah,
from the dairy. So, but what I do is I read the bubbles. And if there's no bubbles, it's bad. Like, I'm not drinking that coffee.
that coffee's going down the chute.
I stir it with a sterling silver spoon every time. It has to be the same spoon, too. Like, don't, like, Danny knows, don't touch that spoon. um,
Mm,
so, but yeah, that's basically one thing I do
that's
that,
crazy.
yeah, that's basically a ritual at this point.
I mean, we have our habits. That's a good question, Fearless. What practice started the whole mirror thing, anyways?
It depends. What do you mean by the mirror thing? Because we have everything from going back to where they were basically just used for divination, and
Yeah,
that's like a South American thing where it was the black obsidian mirrors.
yeah,
But if
exactly.
you're talking about like for divination between like spirits, I don't 100% know. What I can say is that the people in my family are from the South, so they're most likely influenced by voodoo.
Yeah. Like I just like remember like my great grandma had an issue with mirrors like being not being covered at night because she believed
Mm-hmm.
like spirits would come in and everything through the mirror at night.
Mirrors and windows, right?
Yeah. Like
Yeah, mirrors and windows.
We had to keep the curtains closed every night. Like as soon as the sun went down, Grandma O was closing the curtains and putting the stuff over the mirrors. Like I just thought it was just growing up was a thing. And then like I guess I asked one day and she said no, because if you don't cover them as soon as the sun goes down, the spirits will come and some of them will want to take your soul. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's a bit extreme.
I like my soul, thank you. Or they'll come in and try to possess you and stuff.
So, um,
Yeah.
she clarified asking about the mirrors, saying keeping them covered or facing certain directions. Again, I didn't like research it, but as far as my family goes, I'm gonna kind of guess that it stems from voodoo because, like I said, they're from the South,
Yeah.
Oklahoma
And
and Alabama. So,
and my grandma O is her family is from Eastern Tennessee and Scotland. So I'm gonna assume it's just where it came from, the Appalachian thing.
yeah. And
So
basically, everything down there is going to be mixed. And
very,
I know there's a lot of people that want everything to be purist and only Black people can practice voodoo, only white people can do like the Appalachian healing magic with the Bible. Sorry, the word is slipping my mind right now. Hexenmeister,
yeah.
maybe. Um, Apologies if I got that wrong. But basically, as much as people would love to be a purist about it, that's just not how it was. Basically, anybody that lived around each other, they were neighborly, and that's kind of how that worked. There's a lot of Irish practice overlap that plays into some of the southern Black diaspora practices, and
Yeah.
then that also mixed with some of the Mexican practices and German, because they were out there too. German, Irish, all of that just kind of became one big muddled thing that also mixed with the local stuff from the natives. So
Yeah.
because you had to learn basically what you they would use their basic knowledge from where they're from, but then you would have to use local ingredients, and it would, it would change. So that's kind of how that goes.
Yeah.
It's not very clean cut to be like, oh, this belief came from here. Things were passed down and shared, and it
Especially
was,
up in here in the Appalachian Mountains, because
yes.
so many people from Ireland and Scotland and English and Wales all moved here because it was a safe, similar spot to what they came from. And then, of course, they assimilated with all the other cultures that were already here. So everything just got mixed. And like, I honestly think it's beautiful for it to be really mixed together because it showed how they actually shared their life and their beliefs together. And I think it's pretty cool. Like, I like it.
plus plus it's knowledge, and
Yeah,
sharing that was almost never a bad thing.
no.
um of
Especially when it
course,
came to beliefs.
well, I think especially when it came to like protections from other kinds of like witchcraft and stuff like that, because sometimes people would come down with what they thought was a curse or something, and they'd go to somebody and they would be like, oh, that's root work. And if you don't know anything about root work, you're going to need to go to somebody who
It
does know.
does.
So, and then you're going to learn about it, even if it's only through that exposure. So that's how a lot of white people ended up practicing voodoo. Like that's fully a thing.
Yeah.
And again, I know a lot of people hate that. Like they really do. They're like, oh, this is a Black practice. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to feel about anything. Feel how you want to feel. But I'm going to tell you that there are legitimate white voodoo practitioners
Yeah.
from various places. But one thing I will say is there is a huge difference between the people who do it correctly and the people who are just like, I like how this looks. I want to cosplay this.
Yeah. I mean, we know a few people who are really good at it. I mean, I know it, not just the Appalachian conjuring part, but the root working part.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Appalachia is so weird because it's such a well, not small. It's such an isolated place, but it's also very diverse in its own way because there's the people out there's root work done there. There's Hexenmeisters. There's people who literally will just touch you and pray out of the Bible.
Yeah,
Um,
healers.
yeah, healers. They don't want to be called. They don't think it's witchcraft. They think it's a gift from God.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on in the mountains. So,
absolutely. I will testify to that. There is a lot. Like I've learned a lot. Like even though like I knew my great grandmother and my grandmother were from up here and I learned a lot, but you don't really realize it until you move and live up here, how different it is. But then you can also, I've also learned like the people who didn't like actually want to learn or even pay attention to their grandparents or great grandparents' raisings. I've learned that from firsthand. Like it's like I know this, but I didn't grow up here, but you grew up here and you don't know this. Like that's crazy. Like it's just one of those things. Like it's just so different up here. It's like it's actually funny because Jim's cousin, he knows a lot and like learned a lot from their grandma and stuff. But like I know other cousins that didn't even pay attention. And it's funny because I would never think his cousin was like any ounce of like woo woo, but he is.
mhm,
He is. And it's just funny because like he actually one of the gifts he gave me when I first met him was a Celtic magic book
mhm.
that he had. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like my whole Southern Baptist in-laws, and I've got a cousin who's giving me a Celtic book.
Well, to go back to what you said about how some people weren't listening to what was being said and like some people picked up on it, it really does go back to whether you listen to your grandparents or all the old people in your family, or whether you're just like, oh, grandma's old, she's rambling about something. There is a
Yeah.
really big difference. And you could always tell, I can always tell when somebody was raised by their grandparents. It's just a whole different vibe.
Yeah, it is. Like you and I were pretty much raised by our grandparents, so you can tell we were.
Yeah.
You can absolutely tell from a person whose grandparents were their main guardians and stuff to raising you. And then you can tell when parent, like you just had a parent. It's just crazy, like how you can tell. Like
I
some of
also
the,
feel like if you were raised by your grandparents, you probably eat old people cereal. I don't know why, but that's just such a thing that I've noticed. Old people cereal and old people candy.
yeah, sorry, I do. That's me. Or like you're trapped between like generations. Like you were raised by, depression people, and then you're like a millennial. So you're trapped between two different eras.
Hey, yeah, and those depression people are mean. Oh my gosh.
Dude, my Mima was mean.
I'm
Not
like, we
like,
got you got food that's been expired for like 7 years.
dude, that actually like my grandma June, one time me and Jim were over there cleaning out her kitchen and we found canned goods that were from like 1986 back in the cabinet. It was like, Grandma, these are like almost 30 years old. Can we like get rid of these? Like,
Man, when I say instability was a thing, instability was a thing. But that's how a lot of families ended up with people who did some kind of woo-woo because
yeah.
because at the end of the day, desperation is behind most of it. I
Hmm.
think it's really weird. I
It
guess
was out
not
of
weird.
necessity.
Sometimes I guess even if you were born like super rich and wealthy and didn't have a care in the world, I guess technically it's a numbers game and you could still be, you know, a witch, I guess. But I feel like most of it's born out of desperation because you have to have like not a belief, but you just have to really want it.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. I agree. Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, don't judge me, people. I watch all the Real Housewife shows. That's my guilty pleasure. And like I've noticed there's a few on there that like dabble in spirituality and stuff. But it's because they think it's cool and because they can pay for it and have all the like, a $5,000 candle for this, and that, or a freaking $10,000 crystal that's bigger than me
If you
and
pay
stuff.
$5,000 for a candle, you got. I don't care about the situation. I don't care what you got to say about it. If you pay $5,000 for any candle for any reason, you got, and you are Boo Boo the Fool.
Exactly. But yeah, that's my thing. Like some of these girl ladies in the show, like they do it because it's a trend now and stuff. And it annoys me because it's like they're not deeply into it. They're just doing it because they can afford all these fancy spiritual things and all that. And like a lot of them, it's funny because like a lot of them actually go to tarot card readers or mediums. But your brother-in-law over here kind of noticed these mediums, like they're getting them because first of all, you are famous. You've been on this show for years and your business is out in public. So these
Right.
mediums are not even like trying. And neither are the tarot card readers because it's like,
And it's funny too because like the mediums try to pretend like they've never heard about this person, like they're not
mm,
a fucking A-list celebrity.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm
So
like, get out of here. I knew this too.
I'm like, that was just in the paper like 4 months ago, girl. I already know that. So this reading is all bullshit. So like, yeah. But like these people, like, they're not doing it out of necessity. I mean, the one chick on the don't I feel like this is funny because like it's one of my favorite things to watch, but like I'm rewatching the Real Housewives of Jersey, and one of the girls and her husband actually went to jail for a lot of fraud. A lot of fraud. And I don't know if you know that one medium. He's like this little chubby guy with a mustache. He's been around for
I
like
don't watch any mediums. I don't know who any of them are. I just know how they work.
Oh, he doesn't
So,
have a show. He's just like world renowned. Like he's famous just for like the last 30 some years.
well,
But
he's not angel renowned. So,
no, but
I
like
don't know who that is.
it's funny because like he went on there because she wanted to know if her and her husband were going to go to jail and what she needed to do. And like I don't think she liked what he had to say because he's like, "Your husband's going to jail. You may not. I'm not sure about you. You're still going to be in trouble, but your husband going to jail." And she got mad.
Mm.
But like my thing is like everybody already knew she's been in the freaking spotlight for court shit for a while. But like she's just doing it just to do it because they have the money to do it. Like there was no desperate like I've never seen any of these ladies on these shows that have done spirituality or any kind of woo-woo because it was a necessity or they felt connected to it. They were just doing it because it's the new thing to do. And that annoys
I
me.
I literally stopped doing readings for other people because people were doing too much. I'm just like, you know what? This isn't how this is supposed to work. You
Mm,
don't respect what this is. And that was enough for me. Now I am super selective about who I will do readings for.
yeah.
Like I've had people book readings with me and I'll cancel it because I'm like, nah, because I don't know you. And somebody has to vouch for you that you know what you're getting into, you understand how it works, and you respect it. Because if you don't, I don't want your money.
Exactly, dude. Because like I've noticed like even as like I've caught up on the recent seasons, a- at least twice or three or four times in the seasons now, these ladies are going to tarot card readers. They're going to readers now because it's a thing to do now.
Well, that's not new. Um,
No, but it's like a really
tarot has always kind of been seen as like a parlor trick, parlor entertainment. there's always been tarot parties where they would just have a reader come and read for everybody. And that's pretty much been the case since its inception.
Oh yeah, but like I've never saw it like being highlighted on like a show so much than it has lately. Like I'm like, damn. Because like even Jim's over here like, really? Another reader? They're doing more card readings? Like what is going on here?
The way I would absolutely never do a tarot party. Ew, I don't know why. That just feels so icky to me. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah, because like,
I couldn't imagine sitting there and trying to read for a room full of people while everybody else is just like watching and just there. And
yeah,
I'm just
dude.
like, can y'all go away? Nah, that's not how that works for
Well,
me.
it's like
One on one.
the one we were watching because like I was watching the Utah version and like I'm catching like I'm on the new season and they actually have like this spiritual party and this card reader. He was over here nitpicking his card reading. He's like, "You and Angel don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Why is he asking 1,000 questions? Is he not supposed to know like in-depth things? Like what's he doing?" He's like giving this guy attitude because he was like, "You're not supposed to like do that. Like, why is he doing that?" He's like, "You guys don't do that. I know you don't ask like 30 billion questions to be that personal."
Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch these shows.
No, I know, but it's funny because like he watches them with me and like he criticizes anything that's witchy, tarot, spiritual healing, or any of that. He's like, "You don't do that. Your friends don't do that. Why are they doing that?" That's not right.
What's funny is I don't think I ever said this on this channel, but my husband, he is very hands off, very standoffish when it comes to anything craft related. So he's gotten more comfortable with it over the years. But even now, like if something witchcraft is happening in a movie or on a show that we're watching, I'll look up and he'll be looking at me.
He's like, "Is that right? Is that right?"
Yeah, he'll be like, "Is that right? Who is that? What are they talking about? What does that mean? Do you know what that symbol is?" I'm like, "Yo." I'm,
Yes.
I was like, "There's a room right there full of books. Go look that shit up." Like, stop
It's just,
asking me.
it's funny because he's all questioning you, and then this one's over here like, "That's not right. You guys don't do that. Angel doesn't do that when she reads. What? What?" I'm like, "Oh, we gonna nitpick now. How funny. This is hilarious." But yeah,
Yay,
good
the
times.
men.
Good times. Good times. They enjoy it.
Who?
The guys, they enjoy having to do all this with us.
Mine doesn't.
Oh,
Anyways, I don't think I have anything else.
I don't think so either.
So I think we should wrap up and we are live again. What time? 3?
Yes. So in a couple hours.
So, yeah. So I guess we'll be back at 3.
Yeah, on the Patreon.
Oh yeah, not here.
Yeah, on the Patreon.
All right, you guys. We will see you next week.
Later.
Bye.